Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our playthrough of Warhammer Fantasy's Mordheim City of the Damned. In the last episode, our group of noble, glorious explorers, not quite, had decided it was about time to go on their expedition to Mordheim. They had followed the advice of Hagrin and had agreed to take the castle within the settlement of Black Pit. You're currently outside the settlement. If you want, you can place your tokens on the map. I will just be explaining what you see as you come through the Black Pit. So as you approach the Black Pit, it is an old and decaying settlement that you notice has had some regeneration. There's definitely been times as you make your way through the narrow streets, all your guards are on lookout there, all heads are on the turn as you walk past these buildings. You can see where someone has tried to fortify, or someone has tried to reclaim a building. But you hear nothing as your convoy makes its way through. You see the crumbled ruins of what once was a prosperous town. You can see that although the wood has rotted and decayed, it was once of fine craftsmanship, although nature has quite quickly started to reclaim it. You can see some small trees growing out of burnt out buildings where a fire has started, and with no one around, it has just spread. Would you like to give me perception tests as you move through the Black Pit?
Let me just the new sheet work. It did, and I'm going to, fortune that because no.
Come on, another 100. Bollocks. Well, 200s in a row would be unlucky. As you make your way with your convoy, your mercenary guards are looking almost overlapping each other, checking out the ruined buildings, making sure there's no one that's hiding in the darkness, no glint of steel. Wilhelma, as you look through, you're not brought to the shadows, you're brought to how a place like this could just be abandoned. You look at the buildings and at the finery that was. If they'd come back 10 years ago, 15, this would still be a thriving town, and yet they didn't. Whereas Miss Gabrielle, you see in the buildings. As you walk past, perhaps you lean in a little just to see around, and perhaps a gasp comes forth from your lips. Perhaps your body language just changes. But your comrades would notice, Azurath and Lysiara, as you look upon the remains of skeletons, the dead not laid to rest, but abandoned in haste. And as the rest of you see Gabrielle's posture change, her demeanour, you too begin to look in buildings and peer in to look deeper into the darkness, and there is no wealth, there is no metal belongings to be taken and sold. No, you see the dead, rotten remains of beloved, treasured ornaments that now are little more than rust and rot. A sadness settles as you realise how many people it would take to build a settlement, how many bodies there are. The guards seem to know better. They just guard the caravan, not straying far. But before long you hear a yipping sound coming forth, and Ben, looking round, his dog is missing. He whistles out for it, and you hear the yipping moving. It doesn't appear as if it's in danger, just perhaps lost. Ben, hang on, NPC sheet, why do I feel like I'm getting his name? No, Bill, fucking not Ben. Bill hands the reins over to another member who seems to be able to drive, and him and Ted leave the group, but they stay. You can constantly see them. They only go a building in, staying on the streets and coming back round. They appear to have either spoke to the mercenaries or just learnt through life's example. If Ted moves forwards, then Bill is in the middle watching the caravan. There is always a line of view to your group. It takes you about half an hour to weave your way through the streets of the Black Pit. You would have to move a few burnt out, rotten husks of what were once fine carriages and carts, but it's not too difficult. And then you come to the castle. It's a modest thing. Its walls are stone, but not of the same craftsmanship as what were surrounding Siegfriedhoft. And this is where the caravan circles itself, taking directions from the dwarves. The mercenaries and labourers take up a defensive position, as Hagrin... Oh, hang on. Bill and Ted are actually doing something else. I think that's Ted. If I'm moving one of you, let me know and I'll put you back. But I think that's Ted from my zoomed out position. Yes. So, as you gather at the walls, Hagrin comes down. It's not looking as good as it used to, but the walls are still standing. The doors are still strong. Are you ready to enter?
Well, we didn't come here to look at the door, did we?
No, lassie, I certainly didn't. Hagrin leans back, and with a mighty boot, he kicks the door. The lock, or the brace, clearly rotted through. One side swings in as he holds his axe ready. And you were brought to a rather fine-looking building. As the doors swing open with a creak, Hagrid enters.
Sierra, stop playing with ghosts. We don't need enough trouble around here.
Does the fluid motion thing work?
Yeah, you moved.
Did I do it?
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't work on your screen, but it works on our screens.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
See?
Yeah, thanks.
As you enter the castle court ground, fucking hell, you see quite a nice stone building in front of you. It's a little odd for it to be so close to the main gate, but it also seems quite defendable. You look to your right and you see a stone guardhouse. Could fit a decent number of your men. It's in disrepair, of course. This whole area is just covered in a feeling of rot, a feeling of decay, of neglect. By all means, if you want to move and look at something, examine something, you can move your tokens there.
Are there any... I'm just gonna stick with Hagrid. Are there any visible entrances?
As you look at the walls, entrances to the walls or to the building? Yeah, the building. Hagrid's basically going around to the door. Hagrid moves with as if he knows this building, as if he's been here before. He walks straight up to the door to the house. As you see him walk round, you think to yourselves, like, it's a very odd design to have a building here, but then as you come round the side of the house, you see where Hagrid goes to enter. This house is far more defendable than your regular, simple noble's playhouse. There is a thick stone wall that cuts the north part of the courtyard off from the rest. And actually, as you've come round, you can now see said wall. Aye, let's see if it's open, I guess. Hagrid reaches out and he rattles the door. Aye, this isn't too bad. Aye, not too bad at all. He reaches into his pocket, pulling out a bronze ring covered in keys. And he begins flicking through them. Aye, it's been a while. I think it was this one here. Aye, not that one. He tries a few keys. But eventually, with a click, the door opens.
I'd like to magically sense the area.
Sure.
Just to see if I notice something, that shouldn't be there.
By all means.
Pretty sure we're near Mordheim. Everything shouldn't be there.
Yeah, more times is scary.
Yeah, even so, I don't want anything inside the house that shouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
You
and if there is
sense
something, I would like to know.
you sense magic in the fort. As you do a magical sense so close to Mordheim, you can just see the brilliance in the distance, the flashing in the horizon towards the city. But you draw your focus in, and you try to block out the horizon and focus only on your surroundings. There is magic here. You sense it. It's not particularly strong. It feels as if it's old magic that's fading. But as you look into the stone wall, you're looking south, further into the complex that you can't see in the real world, but in your mind you can sense past the stone wall, there is a building that contains something producing a glow, a small radiation of fading magical energy. Perhaps a ritual area, perhaps somewhere where a mage once studied magic and the winds still cling to that area. As you open your eyes and feel yourself come back, where you're looking, you see a tower above the stone wall. It has an extremely sad sense when you look at it. It's dilapidated and ruined. You can see where once there were vibrant areas for plants to be hung, but now is just brown, death and rot. No flowers, no plants grow there anymore. As Hagrid enters, actually, he'd be over here. You hear it's the sound of someone who's done work to something and it's been undone. It's the sound of a tradesman who's having to redo work. As you walk into what was once a fine noble's house, it is nothing but rot. It is nothing but ruined furniture. The smell of mould is quite heavy in the air here, as you can actually hear somewhere a drip, drip, drip.
Oh, isn't this lovely?
Oh, why do I bother?
What's wrong?
I've already sorted this place out once, and I don't really want to do it again.
Wait, you've been here before? How long ago?
When we did our first expeditions, well, after the first and second, we decided it was too far to come back to Siegfriedhoft, so we reclaimed the castle. Did a lot of work to it. It was about 20, 25, 30 years. It's been a long time, but I had hoped from the outside it wasn't so bad on the inn, but... And as you look down, again, south for you, Miss Wilhelma, there are windows which have been smashed through. Just absolutely destroyed.
No offense, but you did leave the place unattended for like 2 decades.
I mean, I had hoped that, it wouldn't be this bad. I mean, we can't stay here tonight. It stinks.
I mean, the food. Well, surely you should have expected the food to rot.
But the wood and the rust and it's a wee bit quick. This shouldn't have decayed so quickly, but then being so close to Mordheim and the odd weather that I guess I should have seen it coming, but we didn't bring enough materials to fix this place up.
Oh, I guess that means we're gonna have to spend more. Oh well, you gotta spend money to make money.
Just one question. Is there rotten food in the table right here?
There are plates and cutlery that's broken. The food is probably all gone by now. There wouldn't be anything there but stains, and it is very damp in here, so maybe mold. So it looks really fine because you will get it to look like that at one point. But I imagine this place just desolate, a ruin.
I was just asking because Muhammad said food, so I was like, wait, there's food in here? So there's probably someone in here that was eating this food before.
So, any idea who might have vandalized your windows?
No, not really. I don't know why they would have done it if... I doubt... well, maybe to get in. He actually moves over to the side to look for where the glass is. And once you being a little bit taller, Miss Wilhelmer, perhaps you just go on your tiptoes a bit and you peer over the table. The glass is on the inside.
So, someone went in. The real question is, did they go out?
Well, it's worth having a look around, I suppose.
Since I told my raven to circle around the tower and check for, any signs of danger, should I roll perception for him or?
Yes. Roll perception for him. And do you see what he sees?
We kind of have a telepathic link, so he can tell me what he sees.
They can send back images, so technically speaking, they could. It'd be really disorienting, though, to actively see in real time.
Yes and
So
no, maybe.
he
So
would.
it's not like D&D where you go blind deaf when you look for your familiar.
In all fairness, that's the D&D method of you don't get disoriented by the fact you're seeing out of two sets of senses at once.
So he, you don't. For your raven, it seems you don't see what he sees, but you hear, and he can tell you what he sees. He can tell you that as he flies over the wall, that there are 4 buildings.
Actually, correction, I still don't have the link of Psyche, so he cannot tell me things for over distance. He would have to come back to me and tell me.
Okay. It doesn't take a raven long to circle round. As Lysiara, you enter the building and you hear Hagrin talk about what was once the work that he had done. And he mentions about exploring the rest of the building. Your raven flies through the smashed window, sitting. Would he sit on your weapon, on your shoulder? How would he come to you?
Mostly my shoulder.
Master.
I don't really carry a weapon.
He flies to you, and you hear this small master in your mind. He tells you that there are 4 buildings. One is rather small. One is large. It seems to be in decent nick. There's no holes. He cannot see into the buildings from the sky. The tower, he has a bad feeling about the tower. He went from the bottom and circled up. He didn't see any lights. Nothing was shining, but he felt something. And he tells you he does not want to enter the tower. He also informs you that there is a smell of filth back there. Not surrounding the tower, but there's a pungent smell behind the wall.
You assume? I'll scratch its head and tell him to find somewhere safe where he can perch up and keep an eye out.
Sure. He flies onto one of the wall mountings. Mountains, yes. Fittings on the walls in this dining room. Watching over, you see Hagrin. I need to zoom in a bit more. He seems to go into the other room. As you enter these rooms, you'd notice that they are stone, and they look like dwarven worked stone. You can see there are images of dwarven ancestors, and he comes back. It's dirty as all hell, but it seems these rooms are all right. We should be able to use them, but well, I think upstairs would be the best place to really tell. Hopefully the bedrooms are all right. I'd hate to have to redo the work on them.
Be careful. Raven just informed me that there was something pungent and really bad smelling on the other side of that wall to the south.
On the other side of the wall? What?
Yeah, over in this direction. I point out with, outside the window.
Okay, we can check that out next, but I don't know what that could be. The genius of my map creation must be shown as you go upstairs. Da 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 da.
I'm gonna listen out for signs of life inside the building that's not us or rats. Specifically, the normal size rat.
Sure, you can give me a perception test if you're trying to specifically look out for scratching, gnawing, and the sounds of vermin.
The sounds of things, like, for example, creaks of wood, which in all fairness, it's an old house. But when someone puts pressure on an old plank, it makes a different noise to the wind moving an old plank.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't hear shit.
You hear it. You hear so much creaking and so much like doors that have been left ajar, and the wind it's not a strong wind here at the moment, but it's enough for things to creak, and chandeliers with broken glass move, and just there's that constant background noise that you can't pick out the sounds of anything underneath that. As for those of you who follow Hagrin upstairs, he comes up and he almost looks a little bit joyful. There's almost a little bit of joy in actually you come. How the fuck do you go up? Get off these stairs? Oh no, you go up that way. Okay, sorry. He seems quite happy as all the doors here on the upstairs seem shut. If we're a bit lucky, we might just... He pulls out his brass ring of keys and begins flicking through them. Again, several keys later, the door opens. He pushes it open with his axe. I believe he's got an axe. No, he's got a hammer, with his warhammer in hand. With a creak, it opens, and...
Warhammer is so funny. We're playing.
Let's not get into the title drops yet.
The room is in decent condition. Although there's a thick layer of dust, it doesn't seem bad at all. Hagrin checks the other room on the landing, and again it opens, and the two beds in there are in good condition. He almost lets out a relieved sigh as Miss Wilhelma, please roll me a willpower test.
Okay. My willpower is worse than previously was because I fixed it, so... yes!
Miss Wilhelma, as you listen to Hagrin going through keys and almost a bit excitedly, and aye, it's in good condition. I will be able to stay here, or we can get a couple of... You feel a sharp pain in your chest. An icy cold sensation runs through your spine, but you don't panic. You control yourself and your hand goes down to your weapon. You take a deep breath and you turn quickly. There's nothing there.
Hagrin,
Aye?
something's watching us.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
something.
I'm gonna instinctively try to
Look,
magic sense again.
Maybe you will make some sense out of it. Oh, there was something like someone stabbed me with an icicle. Felt cold. Real cold.
As you look into the winds of magic, they are not still, but they are not in motion as if magic has been cast. Something has interfered with the magic in this area, but it's not a spell. There's not a caster using the winds, but there is something manipulating them.
I'm gonna ask Boxbound to keep an eye out for ghosts or wraiths that might be in the house.
Holy shit, that's static.
Nah, it's a Hoover.
That sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, sorry.
As you turn, Miss Lysiara, roll me a willpower test. Yes. For fear. As you come out of your sense, of your magical sense, and you think to yourself to summon Barkspawn, to have him, you feel the icy touch on your chest as the hair on the back of your neck begins to rise up. You hold firm, but you look at Hagrin and his face has dropped a few shades as he holds his axe. He points. There's something behind you.
Behind.
I charge.
I
charge.
You're nowhere near here because your token is nowhere
You've not been moving
in
up.
the
I-
vicinity.
I just want to quick draw my rapier and just turn on my heel and slash
Uh,
a wide.
Miss Miss
However,
Wilhelm.
Hearing the concerns from upstairs, I'm going to silently move towards them.
Miss
Where the
Wilhelm,
hell
you
is the door
draw.
even in this place?
You draw your rapier, and you look to where Hagrin is pointing. As you see, he's pointing behind Miss Lysiara. As Miss Lysiara begins to summon Darkspawn. Barkspawn, she hears a voice. Leave now! Before the ghost leaves through the wall. That wasn't here last time.
What the hell?
That's a ghost. Oh. And he just told me to leave. So
You can deal with ghosts, right? You mages can do that, right?
yes, magic should work on it. But also, I can bless your weapons, so you guys can also hit it. Or not. I'm just gonna cast the etheric armor on me, just in case.
Sure. Miss Gabrielle. Yes, Miss Gabrielle. Roll agility.
dokie.
Sorry, no. Perception first, then agility.
Oh, fortune. I definitely fail. Now agility, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fortune that.
Wow, that RNGesus was really taking the piss there. 99 and then 100. Fucking hell.
There goes all your fate.
No, I
So
got one fortune left.
you are downstairs when you hear the commotion from upstairs. You don't hear anything else, but something in your mind tells you to jump, and you dodge forwards as a piece of glass falls from the ceiling, stabbing into the ground. Azurith, I have painted the door white for you, so you can see it a little bit easier.
Okay, yeah, because I'm still guarding the door outside, so.
I made a foobar with this map. There isn't a door. There isn't a door for you to get to the other section. I will add that on.
So what have you angered now? Something's just tried to kill me down here.
There's ghosts, apparently.
Well then. I guess we need to find a way to make a barrier around this place. And we should probably check out that tower because well, it might be where these ghosts are coming from. The tower is probably attracting them.
Azurith, roll me willpower. Azurith, as you stand watching guard over the door, you can just hear your comrades from upstairs, a commotion. Then you hear a quick sound of movement before Miss Gabrielle shouts that she too has been encountered when you feel the icy grasp around your chest. The hairs
Bloody hell.
stand up on your neck.
Could you please go somewhere else? I don't like this feeling. Just shoo.
I don't want you here. Leave.
Yeah, and I don't want you here. Get up.
So, can somebody tell me what you fucking do with a ghost?
My opinion is you ignore it.
Does shooting work? Or stabbing? Slashing?
It highly depends on the ghost. It might just be trying to warn us of an even bigger danger inside this place, or maybe just
No, it seems to be a
the
bag
demon.
of dicks.
I think attempted murder isn't a warning.
The
What
piece of glass, just so you're aware, it's probably a little bit smaller than a dagger. Falling with gravity, it's stuck into the wood. Didn't have much penetration.
Yeah, but the head. It doesn't need much penetration. It gets in the head.
No, so like so imagine if you dropped something sharp and it just managed to stick in. Ghosts can't lift that much. It's in the rules. They're not allowed to lift things that weigh more than, it's like less than a dagger. So if it was a metal blade, it couldn't lift it. So yeah.
just trying to scare us off. It can't really do much harm unless it materializes and tries to slash at us.
And then we can kill it, right?
It depends on how powerful the ghost is. Regular weapons would just go through.
Lysiara, do you want to roll? What would cover this? It would.
The knowledge magic?
It would do you know what I'd allow? Have you got a dark magic law? Because that would be.
I
Could
do
I
have.
use history to go based on what I'd heard about these things in folklore?
I do have demonology, if that would apply better.
Yeah, roll demonology. That would give you more information. You could roll history, but you wouldn't be getting. It'd be more folk tales and stories.
Folktales and stories have worked well so far. After all, I was prepared for the vampire, wasn't I?
Can I roll Wasteland? No, for all I know, Chaos Wastelands are haunted.
So for the Chaos Wastelands, probably not. Chaos doesn't really use ghosts, as far as I'm aware. It's the undead faction.
Alright.
But Lysiara would, well, so you would definitely know as a human to respect the dead and to bury them properly. Lysiara would know more in detail that a ghost genuinely will stay near their body. They're not necessarily evil. Mischievous, yes. Protective, yes. They only become actually evil when someone corrupts them, when someone controls them and makes them do something evil. In most cases, they're an annoyance. You would be very much aware because of the dark side of your knowledge, that if you were to try to take control over a ghost, you'd dig up their remains. You'd take the remains of the person, and that is how you'd be able to control them. So it may be a case that this ghost has had its remains not buried properly, or perhaps it's been buried properly, but it was buried under the floorboards. It was murdered. There are many ways to get rid of a ghost. If this is a ghost, it could be something worse, like a poltergeist. But you wouldn't know just yet.
Be bad.
Okay, so what's the difference between a ghost and a poltergeist?
A ghost kind of just generally, they're kind of there. They do a bit of annoyance, but they can't really do much damage. A poltergeist, fuck you, furniture!
So in the
yeah.
lore, it's actually
Relative strength wise.
in the lore it's a subject of debate. To be quite honest with you, it generally
Yeah,
says that it's a ghost and a poltergeist and other ghostly things are all subject to debate. It's some ghosts that resemble ghosts and act like ghosts will do poltergeist shit. Some poltergeists do it the other way. It's even in rule terms, one's just more. Well, no, one's just more.
More.
No, he's just more. He just lets you do more, so he can pick up a little bit more. He has a chilling touch, whereas the ghost kind of just scares people and moves shit around. The poltergeist can move a chair, for example, as you go to sit down, whereas a ghost can't.
So just like what real world poltergeists are supposed to do. Fuck you, furniture.
So they can play musical chairs.
Yes.
Well, they could also pull the trigger on your gun, for example.
Which would be bad.
Slightly scarier.
Again, let's say we'll just look at Hagrid and Mohammed say, let's look around this place, see if we can find a, unburied body, or a place where somebody might have not properly buried a body. So that way we can deal with this ghost.
So lay the bones to rest and everything's gonna be fine, right?
Depends on your culture.
My
culture is actually burned dead.
Well, it kind of makes sense. Respect the dead, and they won't come and bother you.
I mean, that's a good rule to live by.
Just Be careful. If the ghost does become violent, it shouldn't cause so much harm, but it can cause a lot of harm.
Aye, Ghost. My people don't really believe in your ilk, but if you leave us be, I promise I will fix up this place like it used to be once long before. Just don't go moving my shit around. And Hagrid kind of speaks to the room itself. And don't touch me.
I take it. The dwarven word is iron solid.
As Hagrid moves around to the back door. Go ahead, Miss Lycia.
My raven did say there was a pungent smell on the other side of the wall.
Yes.
I'm just gonna follow him outside, and I'm gonna look at if there is, a body somewhere, or maybe,
Because
a fresh grave.
because my character has no idea about how it thinks the conventional way of hiding from ghosts from people works for ghosts. She's going to follow them quietly.
Okay, so as you look outside the window.
Wait, why the hell are we outside?
Because I put the floor back down.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically once you go down into the first floor, I move it round so you can come around.
Oh, okay.
Hagrid brings you to the next door, and again with one of his keys he opens it, and one of our smaller forges was in here. I pray to the ancestors that it's still standing. And as he opens the door, there is a building there. But Hagrid immediately grabs his axe and holds it tight. As Miss Lyciara and Miss Wilhelma, you see the building as well, and you see the signs of life. Symbols chopped into the wood, roughly hewn, is not even close to how crude this shit is. The symbol's an odd one. It appears to be a middle finger flipping the person off, but there's a cheeky grin behind the figure, which you may have seen before in your travels, but you're close enough to hear Hagrid. Orcs.
Orcs.
I know that that skull face thingy. They're greenskins here.
What does it mean?
The symbol is probably the symbol of their clan. Is it flipping us off?
I mean,
Probably.
it looks like
Sounds
it.
like orcs.
Yeah.
Oi, if you want, and Wilhelma's just gonna raise her voice. If you want to flip us off, at least come in person, cowards.
Mama, they're big and strong, and you don't want to piss them off.
And
Like
if
that.
we're gonna stay here, we're gonna run into them eventually. Might as well get it out of the way now.
Also, you piss him off by just existing, so
Yes, but it's best to kill them while they're not agitated.
They're always agitated. They're orcs.
Yeah.
Gabrielle
You
is
know
still
what?
hiding in the previous room.
The best time to strike him is when they're at their most agitated, because that means they're probably beating up other orcs.
Or other people.
Or Gretchen.
Oh
Or
boy.
anything, really.
Aye. They might be stupid enough to try and face an ogre.
I mean,
Oh,
Orc Corsairs are a thing.
I mean, the
Question.
fuckers might try to poke a dragon because they think it's fun. They're
Azurus.
orcs.
Just something out of character. Azurus weapon has runes in it, doesn't it? Or did you not get runes on your weapon?
I'm ruined. My weapon's ruined. I think everyone else's is silvered.
Yeah, mine's silvered.
We don't have the capacity to just start rune forging our equipment just yet, so
Okay.
I went and bought the custom silver flying stiletto of weirdness.
I'm gonna move closer to Wilhelma. I'm gonna touch a weapon, then I'm gonna cast something. I said I'm going to cast something.
I can't love that.
Casting out loud.
You know what? No, I'm still gonna cast, even if
Isn't
it's
it like
not
you could pretty
channeled.
much just like effectively buy it, like bare minimum roll? Yeah, bare minimum roll.
You know what? I'm gonna just look at
Oh,
my hand, look at the weapon. Like, did you clean this weapon before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are
nope.
You know what? I'm gonna fortune that 100 because that 100 I just cannot stand. I have a target of 91. What is happening?
Lysiera, stop rubbing my rapier.
Woman. Oh, I'm
is
good.
that an allegory?
You dirty little shit. No, she's literally rubbing my rapier with something.
There. There you go. I'll stop touching the weapon and just move back behind dwarf. His name.
Oh. It's shiny now.
No, not even that.
So, what did you do?
Oh, if there are any evil spirits here, now you can hit them.
Thanks, that is heavy.
No offense, lassie. I can see her. I can see what you're doing, but I can't wait here all day to. Hagrid steps through the door.
Is
I'm
Hagrid's
gonna
weapon
follow him.
runic?
Do you want to ask him? Actually, you've used magic sense, so his weapon looks very, very magical.
I mean, just looking at
Yeah.
it would see if there was runes on it.
I'm not gonna, even. No, you're fine.
Okay. Can you all roll me perception?
Do I need to roll silent move or do I maintain my current one?
Have you been speaking?
No.
I don't think you have. So
I've just
I'm
been hiding
gonna
in the room
roll.
behind them as they say really scary stuff. Because I'm trying to hide from the ghost.
Better.
I'm going with the I don't know how ghosts work, so if I hide from regular people, I can hide from ghosts, right?
have we got everyone's perception?
I just need to roll.
Is Azurf gonna come with us, or he's gonna stay outside?
I think
come with
Jay
you.
should stop moving his token.
I am not. I'm doing. Forgive me, but I'm doing some other stuff in the background as well. So, but if you want me to move my token, I can.
You do need to, because it will position where you are, what you're looking at, and
Otherwise, I'll just like we need someone to stay guard as well in case York show up. So, I've been mostly just shouting indoors to join the conversation. So,
Okay. So let me have a look here. Miss Gabrielle, you fail to see. Oh no, what have I just done? I've clicked on too many things. No, be gone. You fail to see the miniature army of goblins that comes running out of what looks like a pub, screaming "Wag!" Please
the
roll me
shit?
initiative. Miss Gabrielle, you will miss the first turn. As
Okie dokie. It's not like I was getting the first turn anyway. I'm busy being paranoid. I'm first in the turn, and I missed the first turn. This is great.
Goblins.
I assume I hear this.
Yes, you heard it. So you hear. So essentially, what if you'd failed? They would have had a surprise round where you're just like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is that?" As this tiny, very high-pitched warg sound comes screaming round the corner. So that was like their surprise. They got into this position with a charge. And someone else here needs to be taken away, and I think it's you. But where's Hagrin? Is he not on the list? No, I didn't roll for him, so I need to do that now. Sorry, I forgot I moved Hagrin
As
into
that character,
your NPCs. Because he's one of your NPCs now.
You know what I'm regretting now?
it's like D&D.
Not I'm regretting not taking ambidextrous when I was still a duelist.
Oh, you skipped through past a few of the talents.
Mm-hmm.
You bloody idiot.
It's yeah, you should have bought talents.
It happens all the time. I'm gonna be fine. I want to be using a rifle anyway. Because I was like, I don't need it because my main guard specifically says I don't need it. Yeah, mistakes were made.
So,
One be the first, no one be the last.
as you prepare yourselves, I'll give you that pretty much all of you had your weapons drawn. The ghost gave you enough of a reason to warrant your weapons being drawn and ready for action. So one of the goblins knocks his arrow back and fires at you, Miss Gabrielle. However, let me double check. I don't think he can.
Are they all drunk?
Who? The goblins?
The goblins.
No, not drunk. Well, maybe. Maybe, possibly.
They're goblins. Somebody's been giving them encouragement if they're picking a fight with us.
Or there's the runt herder nearby.
Motherfucker,
If
why
runt
am I
herder is
such
really
a...
a thing.
That's really annoyed me. I've added goblin archers, but I didn't add their characteristics. But I did for the... Oh, you stupid man. No, I've done it for most of them. Like the goblin crossbowman has all of his stuff down, so I'll just use his sheet. He's exactly the same. It's just he's got a crossbow. So the goblins. I was looking up their movement when I realised he had no. Because goblins can move a lot. I think they're not a. Oh no, just 4. Okay.
Yeah, they're used to running away, so.
Very, very true. The goblins do in fact move forwards. It is Hagrin's turn. Hagrin, who has his axe, his warhammer, ready. I think he has a warhammer. Let me double. Oh no, sorry, he has a hand hammer, not a warhammer. He has that ready with his shield, and he steps down into a defensive. From his movements, you can tell he's of what he's kind of thinking. As a building being here and here, he's thinking pinch of them. Azurath, it is your turn.
I need to run through the entirety of the fucking house, don't I?
Yeah.
Let me just double check. I don't. Yes, there isn't another ramp to get onto the wall on this side.
Let's see. What's my full movement? What is my full movement? It is.
It runs 3 times your movement.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's 42 meters, and that's me cutting you through a few pieces of furniture.
If Azareth does the whole right-click thing, he can measure distances as he goes.
Yeah, I was doing that, but it wasn't really working for them. So yeah, I did it now.
Cool.
That's how far I get.
Miss Wilhelma, you are up.
I need to check. I need to remember that 15 squares, not meters. No, actually, it's meters. I just run to here.
Sure. The Goblin Crossbowman. So, I mean, goblins have a real hatred. A real hatred. It's deep. But it's for dwarves. So, he's going to shoot at a dwarf. Oh, actually, wait, it's night goblins who have to fight. I think normal goblins get to do a willpower test for it, but I'm going to have him shoot at a dwarf. He's the biggest range one, so that is, I believe... I believe he takes a -20 to his shot, and he misses. The spear goblins. You fucking cunt. That's his turn.
You fucking cunt.
Miss Lysiara, you are up.
I will.
I need to get into my goblin voice.
So I'm moving this 5, right? I'm gonna have move here. And I'll concentrate. That's all I can do right now.
Okay. Righto. So, it's another goblin. I'm gonna get you with a sticker. And another goblin. This goblin is going to shoot at Miss Wilhelma. Why not? Why not?
Oh,
now I put the damage
shit.
in for it, so let me see. It's just 3. Okay.
I'm gonna have to dodge, am I?
You can't dodge ranged attacks.
Oh well, then I'm just gonna have to take it.
Yes, unfortunately you are. However,
You have a shield equipped?
No, I have my main gosh.
it is a goblin. Which reminds me. Yes, that makes more sense. So that's damage
Shoot
profile.
the stunt he wants.
So he is shooting at a... Running doesn't make any difference for shooting, does it? In this
It does.
game? No, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's -20.
It's
So,
the same as in the H there.
well, yeah, he's a goblin. He doesn't really have a lot of sense. The closest person to him that he can actually shoot at is her. So that's a -20. I believe he is just in range. I believe it's 24.
What's he shooting?
Short bow. Yeah, 22.
Gosh. No way, I got regular bow.
Oh, actually, no, it's 16. Sorry, it's 16 to 32. So he is...
It's like a -10.
Fucking goblin. Okay, so he's taking a -30 to his... Jesus Christ.
Wait, is he firing at extreme range? Oh no, wait.
20 for
Yeah.
running and -10.
Oh no, it's a -20
Oh no,
for
yeah,
long range.
-20. So he'd have a -40. Yeah, he's only got 25 ballistic skill. He's going to wait. Or would he? He's a fucking goblin. Would he really wait?
Walk away is to randomly fire in the direction of the enemy. Hitting something is secondary concern.
It is. It really is. So he's going to roll.
Also, it might scare away the enemy.
He actually, do you know what? He was close. You know, if it wasn't minus.
If he'd rolled negative numbers, yeah, he'd have actually passed.
You see the goblin, or Miss Gabrielle. You see the goblin that just fired at you, hitting his mate next to him. Nearly got her! Nearly got her! Excitedly, the other goblin moves up.
Nearly got the arrows in the roof.
The other goblin moves up.
For a goblin, that's nearly goblin.
It is. That was nearly it. His mate, who's been getting tapped and nearly got her. See, he's going to take a shot because he thinks he could nearly get you.
The gobos.
Roll.
Halfway across the
Roll a
continent, orc gets
1d10.
shot in the ass.
As he pulls back, his bow snaps in half. It's a poor quality weapon. It's not gonna. It doesn't survive a minus 95. So he no longer has a weapon. I'll give him the sad skull. Fucking goblins. The other goblin at the back, seeing the goblin's bow break, he's gonna laugh at him. He's gonna spend his turn laughing. That seems like a goblin thing to do. The other goblin is going to... No, he's going to laugh at him as well. He's just going to sit there and laugh. This goblin's actually seems to be rare. A rare breed of courageous goblins. He moves up. And the other one...
Usually those die out very quickly.
He probably will as well. The other one's going to stand there laughing. Why not? Miss Gabrielle, it is your turn.
The fun part of all this.
Technically, you can shoot out of the windows or climb out of the windows.
Yeah, but I could go all the way round just to shoot at them to the window, where they can shoot at me.
Well, that would also go for Azureth. You can go through the windows. I did say they were all the glass is broken and they're knocked out.
Okay.
I'll run to here, drawing my knives as I go, or my knife.
Also, a small question: would Azureth know what the orc war sound is?
You'd know that there were little screamy things yelling, and nearly got them, nearly got 'em.
Would I know that if you very, very loudly wag, that the goblins might think there's an orc there?
Where do they normally attack?
So they would know that orcs are around through their field. You could confuse them, sure. They would argue between each other, definitely. But eventually they'd figure out, hang on, there's no orc there.
I can't smell it.
Yeah, through smell, through fungus sense, through just the big boss kicking them in the face and telling them to shut the fuck up. They would, but it might confuse them.
Another question is: does Azureth know that
Yeah, it's pretty. It's very common law to know
Common
that
knowledge,
orcs.
any?
Well, no, it'd be something that you'd be given. Like you'd have it that orcs shout out "warg" before it's their battle cry. If you want to see if Azureth would know to do that, to confuse them wise, it's your decision. You can roll for it or you can choose.
All right.
The gobbo here is going to... He moved last time, he didn't shoot, so he's going to... No, he shot at the dwarf. I can't remember what he did. He's going to reload. I can't actually remember. So, Hagrid, seeing that you guys are not following the recommended dwarf route for goblins, is going to move forwards and take up a position over here. Actually back. Azureth, you're up.
There is a window right in front of me, right?
Yep.
It is open.
It's smashed.
There's no glass.
Yeah.
They would hear me.
Yes, they would definitely hear you. You wouldn't catch them off guard. But something may happen.
You might scare the shit out of them when you burst through a window, like cool.
No, please. Gentlemen, your ears.
Am I safe?
What the fuck was
You
that?
If that was an actual action, but that kind of confusing them.
If you want, you can make it your full action, or because it's quite short, you can move and do it. If they get confused, it's going to depend on their roles, especially the big boss's roles. His role will probably determine more than anything.
Okay, in that case, I'd have to run. I'd have to try to get over the table to do that, but let's see.
I'll tell you what. If you do do a successful agility test, I'll say with a -10 for you getting up onto the table and jumping through the window. If you succeed, you'll make it through to the other side with half an action. With a 2. With a 2,
charge.
I will allow it. With a 2, you jump, you step onto one of the rotting chairs. As it starts to fall apart, you step onto the table and just launch yourself through the window into the gobbo, catching him completely off guard.
I've stopped yelling before I jump through the window, but still. Time to roll my attack. Do I get any bonuses and negatives?
I believe you get a +10 for doing a charge, and that's it.
That's a fucking miss.
You do have fortune points if you want to re-roll.
I have 1 fortune point.
Yeah, we've been using them quickly.
No, I have the capacity of 1 fortune point.
Oh? Oh yeah, you nearly died, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm glad I rolled high on my fortune.
As the gobbo is just completely taken off guard, he almost falls. In fact, he does. He falls back as your dwarven axe just comes across his head. He looks up at your face in panic as you notice the other goblins begin to panic. Miss Wilhelma, you're up.
Okay then.
Oh, they're panicking because they think I'm running away from an orc that's actually behind me.
Running.
Oh no, there's another reason why they're panicking. It's quite funny. The boss is going to have to work very, very hard.
That's my turn.
Okay. Miss Gabrielle, you do notice as you get closer to the goblins, towards their firing line, that they do
Miss
not
Wilhelma.
look easy. Sorry, Miss Wilhelma. They look uneasy. Their morale looks broken. The main...
That didn't take long.
the second big boss, he's the underling with a crossbow. He is going to make a willpower test. He succeeds. All the archers are now no longer panicking. And he will start to reload his crossbow. Let me have a look. How many actions is it? That can't be right. It can't be a half action for a crossbow for a goblin. It's got to be a full. So he starts to reload his crossbow. The other goblin, he's the melee one. Well, he's a melee one. They begin to panic. Let me get their character sheet so I can roll for them. Because there's a funny thing about goblins, which Miss Lysiara and Mr. Azureth. Can you please roll me intelligence with, I'd probably say a +10.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, does the
Barely
like slightly
succeeded.
cleverer goblin have like rapid reload or something?
For what?
Oh, just because when you mentioned his reload.
No, I think I was taking that off someone else's sheet. Or I just didn't put, because it always starts off at half, so I just probably didn't click it to a full. So, this goblin here looks over at the scream and this thing jump out of a window, and he panics. He panics so much that he runs into the war boss. Smash. And falls on the floor. Mr. Azurif and Miss Lysiara, you may not have fought goblins before. Your people speak of them as such runty, disgusting little creatures that are so easy to pick off. It's child's play. You also both seem to remember tales of elvish merchants being attacked by large goblin warbands and the goblins routing. Huh. Maybe goblins are terrified of elves. It's possible. Miss Lysiara, it's your turn.
I'm just going to smile, and since I considered it the last time, I'm gonna spend my entire action finding the spell. Where is it? There it is. And that's one for goblin. So
Fuck
This
you,
guy.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck
this
you.
guy, this guy, and this guy.
Fun chart. Do you have the book open?
Oh shit, I do. I just saw it.
It's the only book I don't have open at the moment. Double
that'll be-
sevens. Ha 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 ha.
One. That's
Could've
gonna
been
be a
worse.
minor.
So,
Gonna be a
Yes, yeah.
minor. So
were you going from top to bottom, or do you want to ping which goblins you hit?
I'll reping them. Give me a sec. So it's this guy, this guy, this guy, and this.
They all go up in flames, as goblins don't have a lot of HP. The crossbow one probably should have. Oh well, he's gone now. As you shoot out the flames, you already see them panicking, and they just are immolated. They're nothing. These things are pathetic, and you just see each fireball blow a hole into a chest. Sorry, to blow a hole. Take a head off, blow an arm away, a hole through the body, and decapitating legs. The goblins are in full panic now.
As an character thing, did that actually roll how many hits it rolls?
Yep, it always does. Up to a
Okay.
minimum of my magical characteristic, which is 3.
And whilst I do a lot of willpower checks, would you like to see what happened with your fun roll?
Fluid transformation. All liquids on your person, including spell ingredients, turn to brine. So
Do you have any healing potions on you? Because that's going to be expensive.
I did have. Let me check. Where is it? Well, my vial of lamp oil is now brine. My healing poultice, which is 1, is
Poultices
now
aren't
brine.
brine, because they are actually liquid. They're a
Isn't
paste.
droughts? Isn't all
Droughts are
droughts
different.
one?
Yeah, droughts are liquid. Poultices are paste.
Really?
Yeah, your
I thought it was the other way around.
so your poultice is essentially a bandage. It's an old-time bandage with ointment smeared on the inside. It's not a liquid, so that would be fine.
So my true droughts are now gone. They're now brine. So I'm just gonna add 0. My
Ground
lamp
wound.
oil is now also brine.
No, it
so I'm
didn't.
gonna 0. What else do I have that is liquid?
The goblin panics. He runs around in a circle. In fact, would he? No, he wouldn't go anywhere near Azureth. He runs dangerously close to Miss Wilhelma before like charging over and looking at a dead body and what do we do? What do we do? No! Fucking girls! Ah!
I'm gonna add 2 more empty vials to my thingamajig
Sure.
because my vials of blood and oil are now brine, and I'm gonna have to dispose of this.
So the goblin boss. Can he get the pack together? Can he somehow use his willpower to? Nope. Oh, why is he on? Oh, it's because I did
Did the word actually cause any confusion?
No. To be fair, seeing an elf come flying through a window for a goblin is actually scarier than hearing a warg.
I can't take them seriously. They're too adorable.
They're goblins. They're actually more adorable than your average Gretchen.
So the big boss fails his test to get them under control. He should do 2 tests, but one of them was a GM. I did it GM'd by accident. He fails both of his rolls, so he doesn't just not get control of the group. He panics and fucking out my way, fucking run! Without his second in command to try and keep any hold on the situation,
Keep him under control.
True panic begins to set in to the goblins. Without their boss to even attempt, they just start fleeing. At this point, Azureth, for a start, would you like to make a attack, or you can do a multi-attack against the goblin you're next to, because they have failed.
Get me a second.
Miss Wilhelma, would you also like to make an attack for the goblin that's next to you?
Quite so, yes.
Nice, you get 3 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, at this moment in time, I can't properly show you how the goblins are running around manically.
I've considered
they're a full route.
2 attacks.
Sure.
I was gonna say with disengage, when they don't disengage, it's 1.
No. So at the moment, this is going to count for Azureth's turn, and Miss Gabrielle's turn. You guys are a little bit too far away for them. He is definitely dead. I will give it to you. Didn't you hit him twice? Oh no, sorry, that was Miss.
I hit him once.
That was Miss Wilhelma.
Yeah, I fated my roll.
They are both immolated. Miss Gabrielle, you can attempt to, if you'd like, throw a weapon at a goblin, or you can charge up and try and strike one. The goblin boss runs for the walls, as do a couple of the others. Miss Lysiara, would you like to cast your fireballs at whoever doesn't quite make the walls?
I can. I most certainly will.
My miss flies back to my hand.
Is that the first time you threw it?
No, it's like 4th. Oh shit.
What the fuck?
I think I killed everybody that was left. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
What makes it worse is I like the 11 versus
71. Holy what? Ulrich's Fury has.
I don't know what it's done for the 71, but fury damage was 5.
Oh, I think it showed the roll.
Yeah, it has.
Very nice. It didn't used to do that before.
No.
Oh, so you channel when you get all this on a spell.
Yeah, that 71 is my willpower total.
You guys have ridiculous fucking willpower.
Not quite.
So what do you expect?
You say not quite, you got like 70 willpower.
I don't have Link of Psyche yet, so not quite.
That doesn't count. That's not your willpower.
It is my willpower and my Raven's power if we get it. But anyway, I think that's all 6 goblins dead.
As you fire, all the goblins fall but one. The goblin big boss. Let me just check what his full movement was. He'll probably be out of range for shooting. I would imagine oh, actually no, he's the same as...
Wouldn't like York's Fury kill him?
He's got a little bit more health than the others. I
Possibly
believe
his actual armor.
he only has 1 armor, surprisingly enough. Or is it? Hang on, what was that for the...
Yeah, but
is it
one armor is enough to survive at least one hit, usually.
I think he's got 1... Yeah, he's got 1 on everything, whereas the normal goblins have like 1 piece of scrap chest.
Okay. The white the damage blast. Good for him. He deserves.
Well,
to live
it
to
depends.
tell the tale.
Which one would you aim for him first? Because I should ask. Because
Yeah, because he's the biggest target on the board. So if he survives this, I'm like, he deserves to live.
he is immolated in the 16 damage, unable to make it to the wall. Who's that? Whoever you are, you're gone. Unable to make it to the wall. Oh, of course, I just deleted them off the counter, not off the bloody map. He is destroyed, along with the rest. It appears as if all is well. And yet, something is not. Something keeps you all on edge. As you hear a monstrous scream come from the tower.
Let's deal with these first. And I guess I'm gonna try and murder it by throwing at it again.
Ooh. Oh, it's actually giving you a nice rollout of the... Much better.
Mainly, it's weird that it does it against the characteristic. Instead of doing the test all over again. But that's just it being weird.
But with 10 damage, you easily slay the goblin. So the goblins were killed in kind of a story time. They're panicking. They're not really in a position to do anything properly. So if you would like to move, Miss Gabrielle, you can.
Those are adorable. Can we get some as pets?
Oh, if you want
Maybe.
to have these weirdo
That was
things
totally in
spawn,
character, by the way.
want to have about 100 of those. You? Sure, go ahead.
Was Jim cutting in and out for anyone else?
Yeah, he cut
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go stand by the wall where it's safe and I'm far away from the tower without being useless.
So which way is the tower? That way?
Yes. You can see now that the fighting has calmed down, you can see that there appears to be a tavern. Miss Lysiara, the stench is coming from the tavern. It just reeks. Azurif, you too would notice that the tavern appears to just absolutely fucking reek.
well, lovely.
Even Hagrid seems to wince his nose and ugh.
At least we have a tavern, which will have to be cleaned.
I am not going in there to drink or eat anytime soon.
I'll actually
Going
say
there.
until you go into the tower, you can move around freely. I wasn't expecting you to shout out for the greenskins to come and get you. They were sat in the tavern enjoying a good old time, just like having a fight, having an argument.
We'd have got
eating.
the drop on them.
Could have done, yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing that was going to happen, was you get the drop on them and they're like, holy shit, elves, run! But
Yeah,
no.
now it was holy shit, an elf and I missed an elf caster. Run.
No, it's holy shit, an elf and fire! They didn't get to see much else. What's over there?
The stinking tavern.
Looking through the window, Miss Wilhelma, you can clearly see just... It used to be nice. It used to be quite well kept. Not anymore. There's just dead carcasses, like rotting carcasses left in the corner. There's clearly holes in the roof because that smell of mould is back. And in fact, from where you are, you could probably just make out the bar area where you would definitely see there's something growing up the wall.
Right. That doesn't look great.
Oh no. The tavern is clear. I guess we should go handle whatever it is waiting for us inside this tower.
As you get closer to the tower, Lysiara, you see Barkspawn sat close to the entrance, not entering, but on the masonry of the steps.
One question, where is the entrance?
There.
Ah, okay. I'll move towards the entrance.
I think I'm gonna, because it's really far away, I'm gonna get a bit closer.
Okay.
Azareth, where are you gonna be?
Let me think for a bit. I guess I'll take up the front.
Meanwhile, Lysiara resumes being the most
Where do
heavily
I need
armed person in the party.
Okay, okay. Thank you, this.
No worries.
My character sheet keeps getting in the way.
I only got one monitor or something at the moment. Oh god, no.
See, we don't have a tech priest to do the prayers, and in fantasy we don't know what a cogitator is or a computer, so it's... you want me to do what? With a plug? What is a plug?
Okay.
There we go.
It's something you stick in your...
You want me to oil what?
What?
Also, the future, everybody gets Technomat. We don't know what we're doing, but it works anyway. Because that's how trade Technomat works.
What the hell? What the hell is happening?
You okay?
Yeah. I'm seeing.
As you all gather round the tower, it is a fine white stone. You're not entirely sure if it's a stone from around here. It seems to have blue and pink veins running through it. The door seems untouched. It seems absolutely immaculate. Lysiara, you would notice the magical filigree. That it's not magical in itself, it's just these are definitely symbols that you would see on a mage's staff or on a mage's personalised tome. The door in itself just screams out wealthy mage.
Ah, it's written in magic. Now that I understand a word it says, I speak old magic.
Can I try to read this?
It's filigree. It's the
Filigree?
swells. It's the swells. It's the artistry
Gotcha.
of. If it was to be a mage's wand, it would have a fluid motion in its design. It's essentially design choice of mages.
It's just artwork, and I
Yes.
thought that might be some wordings in the walls too.
No, you don't see. As you look at the door, it's absolutely beautifully crafted compared to the rest of the area around you and the wood of the tavern, where it's rotted in areas and has mould on it. You look at this door and it is, it still looks as if it has some beeswax varnish, some beeswax polish still gleaming. Well, you don't sense any magic in the wood. It is definitely not the wood itself that is magical. But this building is definitely what was emanating that pulse, that faint just trickle, that sensation of magic was cast here, or there was a protection spell here. Azurf, do you open the door?
I guess I do, yeah.
It is locked. Hagrid looks at you. Aye, don't look at me. I don't have the key to that one.
Can I try to open the door?
Sure.
I move closer and try to just open the door. Is it still locked?
Still locked.
Hmm.
And this is where we wish I had magic already.
Well then,
I
Who
would
here wants
give
to
you,
keep on?
Lysiara, that you would know that just touching a door doesn't do anything. It wouldn't prove that you're a
Right.
mage in all cases.
no, I mean I will try. Yeah, right. Let me then retouch the door. And
Channel?
yeah, I'll channel.
So as you place your hand where the lock should be, you don't place your hand on the handle. There's a feeling. It's almost as where you put your fingertips, you can feel an indent in the wood. Although it looks smooth to the human eye, you can definitely feel it as you rub your fingertips up and down the wood. The indentation of time and time, this very ritual being performed. And you channel. There are vast numbers of clicking, clacking, gears turning, before the door does not swing open. It lifts up like a portcullis, rising into the stonework.
Fancy. I like it.
White marble adorns the floor as you look in. The braziers that hang from the ceiling light the burst of greenish flame before returning to normal.
Oh no. Let's see what awaits us inside, shall we? Let's step inside.
As you enter, it is immaculate. You do not see any dust on the floor, on the furniture or the bookshelves. There is almost an eerie feel about the tower as you step in, but it doesn't feel malicious. But it feels stale and old and raw. As you walk further in, you can see a table set up for a few. There are parchments laid down. You might recognise as magical theory and such, of spells that you're not quite aware of, but they are definitely of spells. You don't see anyone in the immediate vicinity.
I'm gonna move further in and I'm gonna cast magical senses, see if I can feel what emanated the screech.
Sure.
What is up with my rolls today? I just don't get it.
It's because you're using the equivalent of Psyniscience, and you've been infected by the curse of Cassius Caligo.
As you walk into the room, you close your eyes and try to read the winds of magic. You are almost blown backwards as you sense this roiling, raw energy flow through the inside of the building. You didn't notice it from the outside, and you pondered to yourself how you couldn't. It almost feels as if this area is just magic. And you are overwhelmed and cannot sense the origins or where it would begin, end, start. It is just a torrent.
Oh no. This is certainly not something I'd expect. This place is powerful. I like it. All magic. It's not usual for a mage to have this much raw magic at its fingertips. I don't even know how this place was built, but whoever did it did an amazing job.
Lysiara, you hear a voice, muffled voice, on your person. Power destroys all. All cannot contain. The vessel will break. Yes.
Did that come from what I think it came from?
Yes.
I'm gonna look around and see if anyone else notices the voice.
No one else hears the voice.
And then I'm just gonna look towards where it is in my bag, like, You always spook me when you speak. Did you know that?
Silence.
I will whisper this. Hello, people. Are we going to explore this place, or are you just gonna stand on the door?
I think she's gone mad.
I think she's talking to her dog.
What else is new?
I didn't realize goblins were actually that afraid of us. I mean, the only last time I saw goblins before this, they actually had orcs with them, so...
Might just been the fire.
No, they were definitely afraid of the fact that they were elves. And then the fire.
Okay, now let's get to work, make sure this place is safe. Can't have it exploding.
Or we can, but... yeah. I mean, if some giant fuck off demon decides to change us out of Mordheim to here, we can blow the place up.
Then we can have
Almost.
it exploding until we need it to.
We're most certainly not exploding this tower. It would be far too bad for all of our health if this went boom. Trust me.
I get the feeling it's mighty magical, ain't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of power here.
For those of you who enter, who walk through the threshold and actually to where Lysiara is, you would feel a sense like an excited, an energy in the air. The magical, well, the winds of magic that have gathered in this spot are so. There's so much of it, even mere mortals can feel an energy in the air.
You might be right. I just turn looking at Ezra.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's go see who's lurking up above, shall we?
As you go up the stairs,
I
believe
do
it's this
hope.
one.
I do hope I'm not leading the entire party.
Yeah, you're currently walking us through a wizard. Then we don't know what we're doing.
No, as in not just leading, but as in you guys are all standing outside. Is what I mean.
I assumed that once you started like going upstairs, we did follow. It's just we're very like, what the hell are we doing here?
Mage things.
Yeah, we're not gonna touch anything, and we currently don't trust you to touch anything, but we can't stop you because you know what you're doing.
We're basically kindergarten during a school trip to a museum or some shit.
There's magic, lots of magic.
Fascinating.
Lysiara, as you enter the next floor and begin to look around, this is a magical workshop. There are vials of ingredients and pipettes. There's an alchemy table with something in there. It's still liquid, it's still slightly bubbling away. It has a green tinge to it. As you look around, there are a few books and a few scrolls, still with their bands holding them together. There are others unravelled, and as you glance down, it looks as if someone was working on something, changing something. The formula has changed multiple times. Although this scroll you can't read the exact ingredients. Perhaps a cipher or a code, but someone went through some effort to hide their language. Or it may be a language that you do not know.
Oh joy, a poisonous workshop too.
Do not touch anything, please. This place is just too fascinating and too dangerous for. Well,
We're locking it up the
Aye,
moment.
alright, I get it. I'll just go stand guard outside in case some of those fucking goblins come back.
I mean,
What does
No,
Warhammer?
we did hear a screech. There's probably something still inside this tower. So just don't touch anything.
should it be
Also,
go?
as
Aye,
the girl gets
alright.
round to the table, can she read the ingredients?
You can't read the scrolls. The one that I said might be in another language or a cipher. You're unable
Okay.
to read it. There are other books there that are written in common.
I was just in case it was written in my magic.
No, it's not written thieves' script or anything like that.
I know I meant the priest magic instead of the regular magic.
No, it's not written in
Because
any
I have the
divine.
Arcan language now, which is good.
Yeah, but there's Arcane language, regular, Elvish, and I think demonic.
If we go by rules, there's like another 8 different versions, because thanks to the fact the Divine's no different. All of them. But yeah, I know what you mean. It was worth asking, though.
So fascinating.
Let me see. So who is in this part of the chamber? Are we all up there?
I think everybody but Azareth.
Okay. Then can everyone but Azoreth roll me a willpower check?
What do you mean I'm there?
Is it magic? Oh, I thought you went downstairs.
If you're there, Azoreth, then by all means roll your willpower.
Does resistance magic apply?
Is this for fear?
Do you know what resistance to magic would apply?
I'm gonna fortune.
Is this for fear, or should I just roll flat?
If you have a resistance to magic, you can roll. This is not to do with fear.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay, so I believe Miss Wilhelma is the only one who failed. Yes. So can Azureth, Gabrielle, and Lysiara, can you make me a perception tests with a -10? Miss Wilhelma, as the others talk about scrolls and poisonous stations and this, that, and the other, you just half listen, wandering around, looking at the items, looking at the vials, the ingredients, the bits and bobs. You come to something interesting. You stand and you look at it, not touching it, but you want it. It should be yours. The others haven't seen it. They don't want it. You want it. Why should they take it? They shouldn't. You should. Before they see. You go to grab a green stone on the desk. No, you don't roll sleight of hand. You just go to grab it. Mr. Azureth, Miss Gabrielle, Lysiara, can we get a... Oh, no, sorry, you failed. Yes, sorry, you failed. You both see Miss Wilhelma walking over to her, looking at ingredients. She absent-mindedly doesn't really pay much attention before she almost takes a step back. And then she starts paying very close attention to something on the desk.
What you find?
Miss Wilhelma, roll willpower again with a -10.
Ouch.
I'm gonna walk over faster than her, because I am.
As you extend your hand, because it should be yours, there's no reason it shouldn't. You reach before your fingertips touch.
Don't go touching anything.
You hear Azoreth's voice. You're brought back. Why did you... Your hand pulls away. Why did you want that so badly? It's not even a real gem. It's a fragment of a gem. It's
Are
more
you
of a
okay,
pebble.
or is it something? Are you okay, or is it some enchantment or something? If you're acting weird, is it that stone? Is it that tiny little green stone? Okay. Lysiara, what's with that stone?
Azoreth, roll me willpower, please. That stone should be yours. She didn't see it first.
Boy.
You saw it.
Yeah, actually, that is a pretty stone. I should
I
do
know you don't,
that.
and then I'm just gonna throw my knife so it scatters stuff off the desk and after you.
Miss Wilhelma, roll me an intelligence test with a -10.
Alright. Can I try and grab Azura before he...
I was just saying I've thrown my knife so that it should knock anything on the desk off and out of view.
I haven't actually started moving towards it.
The-
I just it is actually pretty stone, but I should actually take that.
No, you shouldn't.
The knife hits into the table and the items are shaken. The stone teeters on the edge, about to fall. Azurf, a willpower check with a -10. Miss Wilhelma, an agility test with a +15.
No, don't drop it, don't drop it.
Oh boy.
You grab his hand and stay his reach as it teeters over the edge and falls onto the floor. Azurf, now that the stone is out of your line of sight, can you give me a willpower test with a +20? It couldn't have fallen far. Surely it's just under the table. And can Miss...
Oh,
I can't...
That thing better not be broken. Where the fuck is it?
I think I'm right. Can Miss Gabrielle and Miss Lyciara give me an intelligence test with a -10? Miss Wilhelma, can you give me an intelligence test flat?
Okay.
I know everything, or nearly everything.
Gabrielle, you only caught a glimpse of something very shiny and green skitter across the table and teeter before falling. You were warned long ago not to touch green stones anywhere near Mordheim.
You know, actually, could I actually roll that with, instead of just flat intelligence, academic knowledge with the book that I have? Because I did read that book. That book should have that knowledge.
I will, because Azorf said Azorf mentioned a green stone. If he hadn't have mentioned it, you haven't actually seen it yet. You've only felt... sorry, because you did your... There was a reason that Miss Wilhelma... Yes, because she failed her perception. Was it perception or willpower?
Don't you have academic knowledge magic?
So yes, Lyciara, you can roll your learned skill.
Oh, just barely. My rolls are not good today.
You remember hearing from Belisarius, and you remember hearing from someone else as well. A very dangerous, incredibly potent magical fuel, a thing called Wheatstone. But you have heard terrible rumours about people who used it, and Belisarius would have more than likely have warned you off going anywhere near the stuff. And indeed, in your book, it does mention the one about the Skaven. It does mention that these creatures can be found, that this stone or a powdered version of the stone can be sometimes found on their corpses.
Okay.
Get him away from the witch stone now.
Whatever you do, do not touch the bloody weird stone. It's not meant for any of you, or even me. Just step away from it. Stop looking at it. Look at this way. Don't look at anything that is green inside this place.
A voice comes from behind you, Lyciara.
Oh god.
I'm surprised you were able to resist. Not all are. Why have you come to my master's home? As you turn around to hear the voice, see where the voice has come from, you look towards the stairs leading up, there is a ghostly shape of a woman stood there.
Umhoa, get Azareth away from that table. Do not let him get the stone.
I've already moved it. You did well to resist. You stopped your friend, which is good. She looks at you, Lysiara. Although I would have thought someone of your kind would have noticed it sooner. The green flames.
Yeah, the green flames were a warning, but well, I'm a scientist. I have to delve deep, even if it is dangerous.
Why are you here?
We're here, well, helping a friend and myself, following my dreams, you could say.
She giggles in a very high-pitched voice that I cannot do. Ah. You want the book, don't you?
Lucia is going to narrow her eyes and just look at her.
You can't have it, you know. It's important. Unless you were to replace it, that would be different. Why do you seek the book? It would interest my master, and it would interest me.
And who are you? And who is your master?
She looks at you and her face becomes far more solid, far more less translucent. There's a mischievous smile on her face and a almost twinkle in her eyes. My name used to be... It was a long time ago, but... It used to be... Melanie Groundforth Estelaine Bertrude. I hated it. I don't use it anymore, but... Why do you want the book?
I'm sorry, but if it is the book that I think you speak of, or that I'm looking for, I'm seeking it because my dreams told me to seek it. And that usually is enough for me.
There's almost a look on her face of like a child figuring out a really simple puzzle. And she disappears.
Oh boy. Now there are two ghosts. Lovely.
She reappears behind Miss Gabrielle. Very quick, weren't you? I nearly got you, though. And she disappears.
Can I do magical sense?
Sure.
Wrong one. What is up with my rolls today? It's
You've got the Curse of Cassius.
all of them have been above 50.
Yeah,
Although,
you've got the Curse of Cassius Caligo.
Although the winds of magic here are so intense, so strong, it's almost overwhelming. Especially now that you've come up another floor, you get a grasp on the fact that it is coming from upstairs. It's not the whole building that's holding the power. It is clearly emanating from upstairs and almost being funneled downwards. And then you look down. It's not like it's being funneled downwards. It is. You look down and it's almost as if a root deep underground glows with magic and leads away. Your kind know these roots well. In fact, your kin, your kith and kin, the second most knowledgeable on these things. The lizard men may be having slightly more. This place is tapped into raw energy from the... I cannot fucking remember the exact elven word for it.
You mean the ley line, basically?
Yes, the elven root ley line. But this tower seems to be focusing energy into it, rather than energy being drained from it. But you sense something in the raw energy upstairs. Something. You can't focus on it enough to grasp a clear image, but something is up there. Horrendously powerful.
Okay, so you mean a piece of the Waystone network?
Yes.
Because that's the like elven name for the ley line shit, where it's like hinges connect it all.
Yeah.
Well, be careful with the greenstones. Do not look at it, do not touch it.
You don't
even
see
think
any...
about it.
when you look with your magical sense, you do not see any more... Well, you weren't able to focus on it last time, but you don't see anything that raw. And I don't know if you've seen it before. If I'll give it to you that as you're looking around, the ghost appears again and disappears quickly. Your comrades don't see her, but you do. And you see a violent, raw energy that looks jagged. And as the energy tries to seep out, it seems more spikes puncturing the winds of magic around you rather than flowing. This energy just is wrong in so many ways, but it also piques your interest massively.
Dangerous. Well, let's be careful. Let's move up. Clear this tower.
You move up to the last floor. As you move up the stairs, Lysiara, your mouth begins to water slightly as you see row upon row upon row of bookshelves stacked with magical books. Some tomes you can read the bindings in different magical tongues, the ones that you have at least. There are others that you cannot read, exciting the mind even more. I wouldn't touch them if I was you. The voice booms from behind the bookshelves, in the corridor leading up to the bedchamber. Not the bedchamber, the sitting area.
I had no intention of doing so.
Good. If you had been mere robbers to my home, I would have had you obliterated. But seeing your friend there emulate those pesky goblins was quite amusing. But they are gone now, so I cannot waste my time playing with them. Both a blessing and an annoyance. As you all look towards the sitting area, a ghost appears. This time a man. Regal looking, he is clearly a mage, given his magely robes. Still fine, almost twinkling, even though he is a ghost. He has made himself corporeal, so you can see him. He stands there and gestures with a hand to motion you to sit. By all means, I would not have let you up here if I wanted you dead.
Fair enough. I'll accept your, well, politeness, and I'll take a seat.
Seeker, tell me, your dreams. They show you a tower. They show you a book encased in a cage of thorns. He smiles. Do they not?
Lysaru smirk and nod.
My dreams showed me blue roses upon that bush, that cage that locks your people's artifact away.
I seek knowledge, and I follow my dreams because they usually lead me towards knowledge. And yes, that book calls to me, so...
And I know where it is. But, given my current form, I have been able to dodge the end of my life, but I am now trapped in a gilded cage, unable to complete my work.
And what might that be?
None of your business. But the ingredients are. My time grew short, thus I had to prolong my life, unwilling to fall so far as to become a lynch. I chose other means, because my goals can still be achieved like this. Unfortunately, the hammer fell, my people died, my assistant killed. Without anyone to trust, without anyone to leave this place, I have ran out of material, and I am unable to acquire the blue rose that I so long for. But I know where to get it, and I know much of where it is being kept. I propose a deal. He bows ever so slightly, of mutual benefit.
listen.
You get for me the blue rose that I seek. You leave me to my work, and I will give you the knowledge that I have, the plans of the city, of its streets, though they will no longer be as accurate as they once were. And one more thing. I shall tell you where you can find the key, 'cause without it, you cannot break the magical wards around the tower.
Can I roll any of my knowledges to try to see or if I know what this blue rose it is that he's seeking?
So I can tell you from common law magic, without you needing to roll. It's more of a alchemy thing. Blue roses are, well, they don't exist. The only times that they can exist are within the winds of magic. They're a figment of imagination. They're a thing created by the mind. But this mage and you have seen visions. You know that there is a plant that grows blue roses. You had more knowledge, given your connection to the artifact. And as a reminder, you saw that the book itself had the thorns, the rose bush growing out of it, encaging itself, and that it was drawing out chaotic energies, purifying them into the blue rose. That's all the knowledge you have. Anything else, even in Belisarius's collection, blue roses aren't. It's a specific line of research. More to do with, again, the spiritual divisions are where most people would speak of them from. Dreams, visions, and that thing. That line.
I think we might have a deal. However, if you wouldn't mind, I would like access to this tower. You have many books that interest me. And if I am to acquire this blue rose for you, which I know is extremely rare, I'll need to be prepared, and I think some of your books could help me.
His smile grows even larger when you say quite rare. An impossibility, moreover. But yes, I will agree. You will have to forgive me if you happen to take a book that I need. But apart from the occasional book flying out of your hands, you may access my tower. But know this, if you try to steal anything, you or your comrades, I will curse you in ways that you could not imagine, in the oldest tongues that even your people know.
Luciara would just smirk. That sounds more than fair. I promise I will never try to steal anything from you. As for my friends, I'll try to convince them never to come to this tower without my presence.
Oh, and keep your beast away from here. He might turn a little wild if he comes in contact with the remainders of my material.
I'll make sure Backspawn doesn't come anywhere near your materials. Tell me, my good host, I still don't know your name, and I believe I have not told you mine. My name is Luciara. And you are?
Names are such bother. You may call me Torias. Torias, the Lord Mage of Death, at your service.
I'll smile, give a slight bow and say, "Well now, I think that concludes our business. Pleasure to meet you, Torias."
I truly hope you do not disappoint like the last lot. If you have any questions that are not vitally important, you may ask my assistant. She was not created the same way that I was. She is a true ghost. Therefore, she is unable to do things. Certain things. But she can relay messages, and she is quite knowledgeable, given her certain charms. As he says this, one of the books that was on the bookshelf materializes just above your head and drops. You don't take much pain, but it's so we're what the as the book falls onto your lap. He smiles, but it does amuse me so.
Looking down, what is the book that just fell into my lap? Is it just a random book, or is it a specific book?
The book that falls onto your lap is a book of languages. It is very, very, very old. There are some languages there that you recognise, and others that you don't.
Fascinating. I think I'll start my studies with this one. And I do hope books don't keep falling on top of my head.
Well, we'll have to see. The voice disappears down the road, her voice echoes, and you can almost hear footsteps of bare feet going down the marble staircase.
Can I roll magical sense again?
Sure.
Let's see if the curse. Why?
Wow,
You think I
yeah.
was kidding?
Why?
You're trying to do this version of Psyniscience? You were never passing anymore.
I don't
Until
keep
that one
passing
time
it.
when
It's
you
just,
do pass, and then we're all fucked.
it's just my luck today. I have not rolled anything under 50. That was at E100.
Nuffle's punishing you for your plans today.
What plans?
Exactly.
And
Nuffle knows what you were doing before you were doing anything.
I tell you what, with the sounds of whispering coming through the mic, we will end the episode here, as
Yeah.
the group have complete control over the castle of the Black Pit. They will have some things to do to get it in order before it is inhabitable, but this is why you have 10 peasants, so they can do the cleaning for you. I hope you've enjoyed... They are. Well, not quite. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and you're looking forwards to the next one. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.